going to be removing a lot of the leather vinyl interior from this 2003 SL. I have removed the driver's seat just to basically aid a little bit of access for this video, and it's always worth looking to see what's under here. I've got an Italian learning disc, that's very nice, from the previous owner, and €3, so everyone's a winner. I've already taken the roof off. I haven't dealt with this locking mechanism yet, which is normally over the head in the roof, because there are some hydraulic lines that go down the C-pillar. So I'm just leaving that there at the moment, and I am going to be dealing with all of these bits, the boxes, all the leather pads, what have you, and this center armrest. You need to remove a lot of these if you want to access the rear window. Now, this rear window does cause issues. That is a common failure. If that doesn't work, the roof doesn't work, because there's the regulator inside, the wire will rust and break and what have you. So here goes. So first thing I'm going to remove is this little aluminium little kind of trim here, and it's held on by a couple of very small Torx screws. Okay, around there. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so then push this off. It should just lever off quite nicely. Don't damage it. They do scratch easily, these things. And underneath here, we've got the seal I can remove if needs be. Okay, now I'm going to remove this little pad here, which is just a push fit. So you should be able to put your hands under and unclick on either side. Very easy, just little push fits which fit in. And then you have access here to a Torx screw, and there should be one elsewhere, if I do believe. Where is there another one? Or maybe I'm wrong then. Okay, so this just pushes off. This clips down at the bottom. A little metal clip comes on here. You see this metal clip here holds on a few pieces of trim, so it sits on there, so I can easily push that off. And now I'm going to remove this screw here. So once removed them 4 screws, this thing should just come off and lift out. Easy. Leaving you access now to enable you to remove these storage boxes. Now, the right hand side storage box has a little catch which you can lift up, one-handed maybe, yeah, which gives you access to a SAM unit. There is the roof ECU underneath there, and there's a couple of other sensors, yaw control, and a few other things which I really don't know. But the main things that you may have to access here is this SAM unit. If you get electrical problems, then these things can tend to fail. Okay, so you need to remove this box to get access to that. To remove it, you've got a Torx screw here and here, and then you've got 2 little hidden ones under here. You've got one there and one there. Now, these don't come out. This just basically hooks onto there and tightens on. So you loosen these 2, take these 2 completely out, and it should then just shake and lift. Now, be warned though, you do have a yellow vacuum line coming to this box for the lock, so it won't just lift out. You're going to have that and deal with that at a next stage. Okay, so I've removed these 2, given these 2 a good loosening, and now going to just see if I can lift. And you can see there's a bit of resistance as it's caught underneath this leather flap here. Now it should come out with a bit of fettling. Just be gentle not to rip anything. This is held on by a little lip under there, if you can see, so it kind of needs lifting off gently. You never know. that just pops off itself. I never knew that. Well, there you go. So you can see you've got the lips there, which tucks under here. And this thing, does it just come off? I thought it was... Oh, well, there you go. Unless that's broken, I don't know. I'll take this off in a moment and have a look. Anyway, right, so this box. Now you have a connector under here, electrical connector, which I think goes to this box, which I'm going to pull out. And then what's stopping it here is this yellow vacuum, which comes from the PSC pump. So that's going to be disconnected under here. So I am going to remove this to give me access to that. Maybe I should have done that first. Oh well. To remove this rear center pad, you open up the armrest and you can see there you've got 2 Torx screws. Undo them and it should just lift off. Okay, so all removed. You can close the lid and then this should just lift off. There you go. Okay, so what was holding that on? Well, them 2 there. I'm surprised it was flapping around. So it's obviously got these push on little clips there, which obviously clipped on there. I don't think I'm the first person to remove this, to be honest, but okay, if you're doing this, I would take this off first and then you should be able to easily remove the boxes. It's looking well, it's looking a mess, isn't it? Okay, to finally remove this box, then I'm going to have to disconnect this electrical cable. I'm just going to pull on it. Oh, I can't do it one-handed, can I? That just pulls apart. Now this though, this yellow line, the vacuum line, goes here. Now this, you've got to be careful. If you get any vacuum leak, then it can really cause trouble for your pump. So you want to be extremely careful not to damage these, because as I said, a pump, the vacuum pump has a tendency to basically keep pumping, and if there's a leak, it will keep pumping and it will burn itself out. So you've got to be really careful with vacuum leaks on this vehicle. If you think there is a vacuum leak on this, you've got to deal with it, because otherwise, like I say, your pump can burn out and then you are in trouble. Right, that just pops off. Let's have a look underneath. Just one of these push fits. Okay, and now I'm going to remove this and then out it comes. Right, so when you come to move the other side, the left hand side, you have the added complication of having the CD changer in here. Now you've got this little plastic little connector which you can try and remove, which is holding down the metal plate. Okay, and you try and lift it, and what happens is the CD player stays inside. Okay, and all the wiring underneath this is going to stop the whole thing from being lifted out. So you do need to now try and remove the CD player, and it's this little black surround first to help remove the whole thing. Now this black surround, I do believe, just lifts out, but one-handed it's hard. Haha, yes, it is very hard to remove because there's 2 more screws. Okay, because of the CD player, take this screw out, and there's another one here where you can see it. Take these 2 out first, and that just might help. And guess what? Yes, it did help. Okay, so this just lifts out. Okay, just some little metal plates around. Now leaves you with the CD player, which still is a fidget to remove. I was hoping it would just fall out the bottom of the box, which it just might. If I lift it properly, you can see it's falling out. Okay, so again, apologies because I am doing this one-handed, but it should just drop out underneath. Okay, and the CD player did drop out just underneath, just lifts up, the drawer lifts up, leaves the player in place. You have this little metal cage around it. There are some cables underneath. If you want to remove it from the metal cage, you've got some screws, or you can just turn it over and try and unclip it, everything through these gaps here, which you should be able to do. Okay, you've got a couple of cables to connect everything, and out it comes. Now, a good reason to do all this work is to replace this common fault down here, which is an amplifier. Now, if you have the more advanced Bose system, Bose, I don't know how you pronounce it, but if you have that system, then you have a separate audio amplifier underneath this box here. You obviously have your Bose speakers, and you also have a nice little subwoofer underneath this carpet. So all those additional extras, but these do get wet. Okay, these can have known it to get a bit wet under here, and I've known these to fail. So if you need to remove this, then you've just got 4 10mm nuts, and just unplug, and this lifts out. Okay, got that wrong. They were 8mm nuts, not 10, but here it is. It's out, unplugged, and now I'm going to move on to the armrest. Okay, so center armrest. To remove this, I'm not sure if this is essential, but I've got a couple of 10mm nuts here, which looks to be holding this cage on. I'm going to remove them. I don't think it actually holds this on, but I'm going to do it anyway because it might allow access to plugs and whatever at the back. So I've removed this cage. There were a couple of plugs to undo, the optical fiber, and this big kind of computer I think it's for the phone in here, and it goes into this little module here. I think this is the phone controller. Yeah, it's a Nokia box, probably defunct now. Now at the back of here there are various little cables. Looks like an antenna, but I think it's for the telephone, so I don't know whether they need unplugging. But what I'm going to do now is remove this unit. Now this unit, look at that, sweets. Whoever's left, oh nice. So there's sweets rotten to that. Okay, when you lift this up, there is a little carpet at the bottom. If you lift up this little carpet piece, you will find that there are 2 10mm nuts underneath here. And then we get onto the awkward Torx nuts here and here as well. Okay, so underneath the carpet you can see these 2 nuts there either side. Undo them, and then don't lift, because you've still got a bit of work to do on this side as well, because it connects to the center console kind of dashboard section here. Okay, I've got it. Right, it's a T25, sorry, I've used. I don't think the T27 fit very well, so that is the angle. It's kind of straight, but you can see it's not right. And then you've got to turn it, and now you don't want it to fall out, because what's going to happen is the screw will keep turning and turning, and I wonder if you can see where it's coming from. You can see the metal catch there. That's where the screw is. So you need to keep going, hope it doesn't fall out. I can feel it turning, I can feel it coming out, and it's getting, oops, sorry, and it's getting looser and looser. Okay, so keep going, keep twisting, and then once you've done that, do the other side. Okay, now to help me do this, I kind of lifted it slightly, so it's putting a bit of tension on here to help the screw pull itself out, and I've done that on both sides. Now once this is out, you can see that you now have access to this lock. Now this lock is very fragile. I've known of locks like this to fail, and I've never known, and I've never heard of anyone who's been able to repair it. I've heard that once this lock fails, you've got to replace the whole unit. So what I'm going to do is, because I'm not putting this car back together, I'm going to cut this yellow vacuum line down there. If anybody takes this off me and then puts it in their vehicle, then they're going to have to remove that themselves and replace it with their own. Okay, I don't want to damage it, so I'm going to cut it here, but don't do that if you want to put this back together yourself. Okay, so finally I've lifted it off its mounting hole from there, and I've just got a few connectors to do, just some, looks like an antenna, and some various little small connectors that need pulling off. Once you've unconnected them, then it's out. So I think this is just one of these RF high frequency connectors. Oh, sorry. This is not the easiest to do the way I'm sitting and holding the camera at the same time. Okay, so I've got a few more to do and then it's out. Okay, so there it is. It's out. And it's left a big hole to fill. Okay, so the car's getting there.